Hi YouTube, this is my third video on my attempt to document some of the rare pieces of my collection. What we have here today is 3 watches related to the Grey Ghost story, Seiko's Grey Ghost story. I've written a piece, it's up on What You Seek, and a similar piece up on a Greek forum, greekforum.gr, which documents this saga, but I thought that since a picture is worth a million words, it would be better if I also did a small video to go along with that text. So what we have here today are 3 watches that share some common characteristics. The first is that they are all scuba divers. They were manufactured for the Japanese domestic market. They are JDM watches. They all have a kinetic engine, initially named the automated generating system, later dubbed kinetic, as it is known today. And 2 of those have this very special, very unique sandpaper-like dial. Now, the watch that's more well known is actually the last in the saga. This is the SBCZ005, originally known as the Grey Ghost. This was the watch that piqued my interest originally because it seemed very unusual. Certainly the sandpaper dial owns some respect in the community. It's very unique. And the indexes are sort of like popping from this grey mist, if you like. And this is even more accentuated by the greyness of the titanium. The watch is fully made in titanium, including the clasp, which was not the case with the earlier models. It has a sufflex crystal, it has a regular Seiko crystal, not a sufflex. It's not a sapphire crystal. The bezel is also titanium. The bracelet is titanium. Very light watch. Dimensions are 39 millimeters, without the crown. So it's a mid-sized diver. Some people would call it small based on the influx of the huge divers, but I'm not really a fan of those large divers, so I consider them mid-sized. Now, as I said, this is the last in the saga, the last model, produced up to 2006, I think. But its predecessors, which are often going unnoticed, started way before that. This is the SBBW 007. It was produced around 1993. It had the 5 M23 movement, and this, of course, now famous sandpaper-like dial. It was a very expensive watch at the time. It cost around 70,000 yen. That's roughly double the price of the titanium Alpinist with a 4S15 movement, because the kinetic engine back then was all the rage. Seiko had really placed a huge bet on this kind of caliber. I don't think it really paid off for Seiko, although the watch sold relatively well. It was a JDM model, it never really took off outside Japan. There was, of course, a batch of kinetic divers, or AGS divers that were produced for overseas markets, which are perhaps more well known, and this is normal. A very unique bezel, it gives it the moniker starfish. The case back is metal, and there's also some metal on the buckle. The buckle has a very nice extension system, unlike the more current extension systems that we find with modern Seiko divers and that we find on the next generation, the typical extension system, which I don't really like. It kind of digs into my arm every single time. This extension system resembles what you will see in a Marine Master, although it feels a bit sturdier, probably because it's a one piece along with a case back that is made partly out of stainless steel. Very unique design, this bracelet, very funky, very 90s, with this polished bits. Contrast is very nice, the indexes against the sandpaper-like dial. After that, the second generation went for the well-known now case design with the 5M43 movement. You can see more details in the link I will post to the original article, but this here is a very unique watch. This is a sibling, the flashier twin brother, as I like calling it, of the Grey Ghost. It's the 5M43-0B7T, which is the same case code as that Grey Ghost, but the code is the SBBW051, whereas the Grey Ghost of that generation carried the code SBBW049. It has some gold details, and it has a very unique champagne dial with amazing detail. It's very hard to capture or actually realize if you are not seeing it through a loop. I will try to add a photograph in order if you can get a better look. But this whole design is very nice during the day. When the light hits it, there's really nice contrast between the indexes, the luminova that Seiko is using, and the backdrop. You don't see very often champagne dial in a diver, and I think Seiko did a nice job here. Certainly the dial punches above its weight class. The bracelet is the same as the Grey Ghost. So the only difference between the Grey Ghost of the second generation and the SBZ005 is really the fact that this one says kinetic on the dial, while this one would say AGS. Other than that, and of course the movement, which has some very slight differences, they are virtually identical watches. Nice mid-sized divers, very light. I think they're actually less than 90 grams. And although they are relatively on the smaller side by today's standards, they have some pretty nice wrist presence. Let's take a look at the SBBW007 on the wrist. It's a bit hard. Right. My wrist is 18.5 centimeters wide across. This one sits quite nice, I guess. Doesn't look small or anything. It's quite nice. And I guess that's mostly because the bezel is brushed titanium, whereas if it was a black bezel, then I think it wouldn't look as fitting as it does now. Let's check out the modern Grey Ghost so that you can have an analogy. This looks good too, on my wrist, which is fairly large wrist. Quite nice. It's all about optical illusions really, with watches. And this one was designed very well. And last, let's have a look at the... I don't know, how can you... what kind of nickname would you give this watch? They're very rare. It's very hard to find one in decent condition. Very well built. This was one among the more expensive kinetic divers of the era, and you can see all the attention in detail. The bezel is very well machined. The case, full titanium case. The indexes. Look how nice the light reflects on it. That's a very nice watch. Mostly during daytime. It really shines with natural light. So there you have them. The SBCW 007, the SBCZ 005, and the SBBW 051. Pretty rare. I guess it's easier to pick up a Grey Ghost in a good condition, because they were produced in both variants for a number of years. Both the 5M43 and the 5M63 are good engines, very solid. Usually you only need the capacitor. They are both repairable, and even if the engine is a total loss, you can simply order a new one. I think it costs around £70 sterling from a well-known vendor. The SBCW usually you can only pick up from Japan. Various degrees of wear and tear. Being titanium, well, they tend to pick up scratches easily, but you can also brush them and polish them yourself with just a Scotch-Brite pad. It's very easy, really. Again, the 5M23 movement, very reliable movement. Usually it only takes capacitor change or some small repair work to be done. Easy to find spare parts. So there it is. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon.